Welcome back. Greetings to all. We are in unit number 2, cost estimation and accounting, under the subject process planning and cost estimation. So, last lecture we discussed about what is meant by costing or cost accounting. What is the main difference between estimation and accounting with respect to cost, and what are the methods we can able to do the cost accounting, and what is the difference basically between elements and components of cost we discussed. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about cost ladder, and also we have one more topic, allowances. Okay, so with that, we can able to wind up unit number 2. So this video will be, this lecture will be the final lecture for unit number 2. So cost ladder or cost structure chart. So we have seen previously many things like a direct cost, indirect cost, expenses, overhead charges, profit, discount, selling price, distribution expenses, administrative expenses like that. So each and every elements. So components in the sense, as I said, structure. The prime cost is the structure, it's component. But under the prime cost, you have a different elements. What are the elements? Direct expenses, direct labor, direct material. Similarly, here selling price is one of the component. So for selling price, what are the element? Total cost is the element. So for the total cost, what are the elements? Selling and distribution expenses, manufacturing cost is the element. Like that, we can able to go in like a start level, base level. So that understanding we should have for components and elements. So start with, either we can go from left to right or right to left also. So right to left, if you consider right to left, market price or catalog price. So that is what we are going to set. It's not about selling price alone. So in catalog, what we are going to keep, what is the market price, MRP, something like that we are keeping now. Maximum retail price kind of thing, we are setting the market price. So how we going to set? So from our industry, we'll be having a selling price for our particular product. And along with the discount, only we are going to give that to the market as a market price. Even though selling price included with some profit, but we need to provide some more discount by considering the seasonal variations, or depends on the demand, depends on the competitor available for our product. So based on that, we have to fix some discount, right? So by adding discount with the selling price, we are going to set the market price. But the selling price, where it comes from? The selling price from the actual cost or total cost occurred or incurred, or we accounted everything in our real product or production, then that is cut total cost. That can be called as ultimate cost or selling cost. So this is total cost. Along with the profit only, we are fixing the selling price. So selling price included combination of total cost and profit. So how the total cost are calculated? Again, if we go back, what is manufacturing cost or production cost or office cost occurred in real time with the selling and distribution expenses. Means selling and distribution expenses means postal delay, transportation charges, packaging charges, all will come under that. That with the manufacturing cost. Manufacturing cost means in industry how much we are spending for on labor, on material, whether it may be direct or it may be indirect. So that is manufacturing cost. With the manufacturing cost, adding the selling and distribution expenses, we will be ending with the total cost. By adding the total cost with the profit, we are setting the selling price. Okay, with the selling price and discount, we are able to do the market price. So now that total cost we know from the combination of manufacturing cost plus the selling and distribution expenses. So what is minimum manufacturing cost then? Manufacturing cost is factory cost or work cost along with administrative expenses. Okay, so administrative expenses like people will be doing some administrative task, like managerial job or something, right? So for them, we need to pay some money, right? That expenses not direct, it's indirect expenses. Along with the factory cost, if we add together, then we can able to get the manufacturing cost. Then what is mean by factory cost in the sense? It's the prime cost plus factory expenses. These expenses, factory expenses with the administrative expenses is completely different. Factory expenses include your electricity charges, right? Maintenance charges, that will comes under your factory expenses. Supervisors charges comes under your factory expenses. So that again it's indirect expenses. So this indirect expenses with the prime cost. Prime cost, if we add together, we can able to get the factory cost. So what is meant by prime cost? It's a direct cost. Prime cost is mostly direct cost, direct expenses, direct labor, direct material. So this is what the cost ladder or cost structure like a right to left. But if you go from left to right, like the same thing with the direct cost, if you're adding the indirect expenses, we get the factory cost. With the factory cost, if we are adding the administrative expenses, we can end up with manufacturing cost. With the manufacturing cost, if we are adding selling and distribution expenses, we'll get total cost with the profit. We'll ending with the selling price. With the discount, we go to market price. So this cost structure you should remember clearly. So when you may be asked to draw this in exams or in or it may be asked to discuss further with some examples also. Okay, so please understand this particular chart. Then the breakdown for the cost ladder I have given in that in this image. Now I'm just explaining. Maybe you guys easily understand from the text. So direct material is the raw material used for production. Direct labor wages paid to workers directly involved in manufacturing. Remember, they are workers directly involved in manufacturing. The people workers may be there, but they are not involved directly on making that product. Then it won't come under direct labor, it will become under indirect. So remember, direct labor, direct material, direct expenses, like a machines hire for specified job. Because machine, sometimes we buy some machineries to make some make the particular product. For the particular product, we need to have special purpose machine, but it is not available in our industry. We are buy it from external or hire it for rent and use it. But that rent, what we are going to pay for the particular machine, that needs to be considered there because it's directly involved on your manufacturing process of that particular product. So that is direct cost. Then what is factory cost or cost? Adding the prime cost with the factory expenses, that overhead charges. Okay, here includes factory related expenses such as power, maintenance and rent comes under your overhead charges. This is what. Then what is manufacturing cost? Adding the factory cost with administrative expenses. So what is administrative expenses? Which covers costs related to office operation and management. Okay, so that is comes under your administrative expenses. Along with the factory cost, we can able to get the manufacturing cost. Then manufacturing cost in the sense along with the selling and the distribution expenses. If we are adding the manufacturing cost, we can able to get the total cost. So selling and distribution expenses, what all the things comes under selling and distribution expenses? Marketing, advertisement, logistic and sales cost, salesperson's cost and all comes under your selling and distribution expenses. Along with your manufacturing cost, we can able to estimate the total cost. Then, in order to fix the selling price, we should add profit margin, the price at which the production is sold to customer. That is what selling price. Then what is the catalog price? In catalog price only we are going to consider about the discount. Okay, the final price after applying any discounts offered to the customer. Okay, not necessary discount. If we are not having any discount, directly we can go with the selling price. If we decided our company nature needs some kind of discount seasonal wise, then we need to set this also, like a market price we need to set. So this is what your cost ladder or structure. Okay, I hope you guys understood about cost ladder and cost structure. Remember, it's very important. In our later units and all, we may be solving some numericals with these principles like a cost ladder, cost to structure charts. So that time this is needed. Sometimes we will be giving only statements with selling price and discount and ask to calculate the market price. Sometimes we may be giving like a direct cost, indirect cost. Sometime we may be giving like a administrative expenses or electricity charges. So and what to say, distribution cost and all. So you have to add that component. You need to add that element to the particular component. So for example, if I'm telling like distribution expenses and I'm giving uh, machine, special purpose machine to perform some task on the component, you can't, you should not add those two under your direct material cost, direct cost to calculate the prime cost. Everything goes wrong. Okay, so that's a sequence of procedures. A structure needs to be followed for estimating the cost, right? So remember this is very very important. The last topic under our cost estimation unit is allowances. It's not comes under your what to say, mm, costing or cost accounting. It comes under cost estimation only. What are the allowances needs to be considered? Allowances are extra time added to the basic work time to accommodate delays, fatigue, unavoidable factors. This ensures that workers can perform efficiently and meet the production standard. So allowances we need to have when we do cost estimation. Until otherwise we are not considering the allowances in terms of time or allowances in terms of money means like inflation, I say. But time for making particular component needs to be considered. Why this is like as I said, like a draftman cost, design cost. Design cost is what, 8 hours, and per hour what is the cost for that particular designer, or draftman cost, how much hour needed for draftman. But that hour calculation cannot be given like without considering his providing any allowances to him. Okay, he can't able to work from morning 8 to evening 5 p.m. 8 hours work he can't able to continue. Human can't able to work, so they need some kind of allowances, right? So that allowances needs to be added. Again, it depends on the gender. Male may have a different take some allowance, different allowances he need. Female need different allowances. Aged people need different allowances and all, right? So allowances needs to be considered. Then only our cost estimation will go in almost like closer to the original value. So what are the types of allowances are available? Relaxation allowance, continuous allowances, process allowance, interference allowance, special allowances. So we'll see one by one with simple examples. So relaxation allowance given to workers to recover from fatigue and attend to personal needs. So you need to provide some, because monotonous work if someone is doing in industry, like even though it's a pick and place, nowadays people, robots are coming as available. But pick and place, just like that, you consider small weight. It may be not necessary the same mouse. If I'm taking this mouse from this place to this place continuously. So, like for example, for 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, or 100 times, continuously I'm repeating this task. Definitely, my movement, joint movement, then my what is it, that finger movement, arm movement, muscle contraction, everything create for longer time if repetitive, with short duration of activity, with repetition in short duration, and also we are doing the task for longer hours. Everything creates some fatigue. So we need to provide some relaxation to recover or regain its, give some rest to the muscles, joints, muscles and tissues. Then only we can able to perform the task. Otherwise, without giving any break, if we are doing, then we can't able to continue this job next day. It's a fatigue for us. So we need to provide some rest. So that comes under relaxation allowance. Or sometimes we need some time for go to washroom, to have a coffee. and to drink water, and also with that personal needs also. So personal need allowance, fatigue allowance. So again, they may be getting stress in terms of mind because of repetitive or poor lighting or mood. Then we need to provide them some allowances. So for typically, like just for example, I'm giving 5% for male. 8 hours, if you consider in 8 hours, 5% if you are giving it, you have to consider as a relaxation allowance. So in the sense, you should not calculate for 8 hours. Okay, this person for 8 hours working for this, he might have completed this 100 number of components. Not so that 5% time you have to reduce from 8 hours for relaxation allowance. Okay, then you have to calculate the total number of products needed can be made like that. You can able to estimate. So that is what. And female, you need to give extra 7% for female candidate for in terms of total working time. So this is relaxation allowance. Continuous allowance covers minor unavoidable delays and extra works needed. For example, when you are working on the machine, tool might break. It's not in your hand. Even though you are choosing right material, high strength materials for tool and all, but breakage and all, you can't able to predict, right? So uh, predict in the sense you can able to keep some sensors and all to it's going to fail or something, but sudden fracture, sudden breakage happen. You can't. So you need to do sharpening or you need to do the replacement. So that all comes under continuous allowances. Then machine maintenance. Sometimes you need to oil them, you need to clean, or you need to fill the coolant and all. That also comes. And sudden power failure in small duration. Suddenly power failure means you need to start the generator and all. Then you need some time for that. So generally for this, less than 5% of total time are given for a continuous allowance. Then process allowance given for ideal time during the process. So if there will be an ideal time in the manufacturing process, that is comes under process allowance. No work availability or machine or tool failure, it's not comes under your continuous. Machine or tool failure means permanently it stops for more than an hour or something. So that and sometimes material delay, the delay of the raw material from external source to our company or from our internal company store to our work table, the material delay may come. Now that comes into process allowances. Okay, that also needs to be accounted. Then interference allowance provided when multiple works or machines are operating simultaneously leading to waiting time. Okay. So multiple workers and machines are operating simultaneously, one after another, one after another. Sometimes one machine is completed and waiting for the raw material, but other machine is not yet completed. Then this machine is to be ideal, right? That but it's a continuous or sequential process. That kind of thing, you need some time, right? So that time is considered interference allowance. Example, if a worker in managing two machines, so ideal time on one machine is considered as an interference allowance. So he needs to operate two machines. He will be having one machine here in his left, another machine on his right. So he should complete one task in the machine A on his left and take that and put it in the machine B to operate. In the sense, the machine A will be ideal on his left, right? So that is this kind of transition period, this kind of ideal time in machine A or B, vice versa, that can be considered as an ideal time, right? That needs to be considered as an interference allowance. Then special allowance given for activities not part of the normal operation cycle but necessary for smooth production is startup allowance, shutdown allowance. Time for setting up the machine before production every day, that is startup allowance. Or assume like we are coming to our machine shop and we have to turn on all the switches, we need to turn on all the batteries, UPS in the back, then we need to switch on the machines, right? We need to ensure it's being cleaned. Once the started, then it will be continuously running. But for starting, we need to prepare some basic setup, right? So that setup allowance is needed. Then while leaving from office or factory, we need to clean and we need to shut down the machines properly and the lock and UPS needs to be turned off. Mains switched off and on. Main things are there, right? So that is some simple task needs to be done on the machine while leaving. So that is shutdown allowance. Then cleaning allowance, regular cleaning allowance, tool allowance for tool adjustment and maintenance, and changeover allowance, time for switching between different jobs. So this all comes under special allowances. Okay. So allowances, as I said, it's in terms of time. Again, the time equals to your cost and equals to number of product being manufactured. So allowances needs to be estimated, and but allowances cannot be accounted. Cost accounting not possible. Why? In the sense, the cost accounting may be done for your product expenses, but total number of product we estimated like 100, but at the end we are ending up with 90 products only. Then we can able to think where the 10 goes. That 10 goes in terms of with respect to the allowances. So if we consider that clearly, then out of 100 we can achieve at least 90, 95. You can't able to make 100 out of 100 because some variation will occur, or some issue might occur. Okay, if it happens, everything robots are running, it's fine. Even robot, the power failures and all possibilities are there. Some failure in mechanisms in the robots also possible. Okay, so some allowances needs to be given. Okay, so with that, I'd like to wind up unit number 2. So I hope you guys understood about costing and cost estimation. We discussed mostly about cost estimation, and the last topic also cost estimate related, like allowances in costing, cost estimation. Then we discussed about elements of cost and classification of cost, difference between costing and cost accounting, or cost estimation and all discussed. So we will check and continue on our next lecture on unit number 3 about elements of cost, with the introduction from similar like our current unit. Then we move on with the solving some numericals in terms of material cost estimation or labor cost estimation kind of thing in our unit number 3. Okay, thank you.